after successfully seeing 63-year-old grandmother Alice Johnson's sentence commuted, Kim Kardashian has turned her sights on helping another prisoner she believes may have been wrongfully convicted. The reality queen took to Twitter on Saturday to question the incarceration of Kevin Cooper, who has been behind bars for 33 years and will face the death penalty for the murders of 4 people, including 2 10-year-old children. The California man has been fighting to have evidence in his case re-examined for years, as he, his legal team and 5 judges believe he was wrongly convicted. David Alexander, the person who saved Cooper from the death penalty in 2014 just 3 hours and 20 minutes before he was to be executed and has been working on his behalf ever since, has asked Governor Jerry Brown to order a review of his case, with no success. He and Cooper want new DNA testing to be performed on evidence they believe was tampered with. Alexander has made it clear they are not asking for a pardon or commutation of Cooper's sentence, just new testing they believe will exonerate the 60-year-old and hopefully implicate the real killers. "All we're asking for is testing. We're not rushing to demand release," Alexander told Daily Mail. Com on Saturday. He said he and Cooper's legal team had approached then-Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger for help, and Alexander said he expressed concern about the evidence presented against Cooper but referred it on to incoming Governor Jerry Brown. Brown is yet to act on requests for retesting of evidence in Cooper's case, labeling it a complicated situation. Share this article. Share it is inexplicable to everyone who is familiar with the case why Governor Brown will not order the retesting be done, Alexander said. "It is not a complicated case, it is a case with lots of instances of law enforcement misconduct. We've already proven the blood on the t-shirt was planted, then the person who did the testing withdrew the results, claiming contamination, and we could not get copies of the report." Kevin Cooper was sentenced to death in 1985 for the brutal slaying of Douglas and Peggy Ryan, their 10-year-old daughter Jessica, and 10-year-old Chris Hughes, who was staying at their house in the Los Angeles suburb of Chino Hills. Their 8-year-old son Josh was the only survivor, even though he had his throat slit, and his account of that night would be the key to the prosecution's case. Initially, police were looking for 3 white or Mexican men, based on Josh's recollection of the horrific killings and evidence which suggested there were multiple people involved in the crime. Witnesses also said they had seen 3 white men driving a station wagon, believed to be the family car, away from the home, but police continued to focus on Cooper. Cooper had recently escaped from a minimum security prison and was hiding out at a home nearby, the New York Times reported. Prosecutors said a footprint of a prison-issued shoe was at the home, as were cigarette butts with Cooper's DNA on them, and Josh eventually changed his story to say he saw a black man at the scene, not 3 white men. Cooper was sentenced to death in 1985, but during his appeal, retesting of evidence, including a t-shirt believed to have belonged to the killer, was found to have Cooper's blood and test tube preservative on it. This indicated the blood on the shirt had been put there from inside a test tube of Cooper's blood, not splattered on during the quadruple murder. The test tube containing Cooper's blood had DNA of at least 2 people inside, suggesting someone may have taken blood out of it and topped it up to cover up their actions. Evidence of another man being involved in the killing is overwhelming. Jessica, the 10-year-old girl who was murdered, died with a chunk of light hair in her hand, and the ex-wife of a convicted murderer who lived nearby said the man had come to her home covered in blood, and there was a hatchet missing from her home. Alexander told DailyMail.com his client is innocent and had been both wrongfully incarcerated for 33 years and wrongfully convicted. He says he and Cooper would be happy to speak or meet with Ms. Kardashian, and said of course her efforts would make a difference. "I think support from any people who are interested in justice is important," he said. "I don't know her from Adam, but I believe her speaking out and gathering other people in Hollywood to speak out, or anyone who is interested in criminal justice speaking out and telling this governor to have moral leadership, to have courage to be better than his best excuses, is a positive thing." Kardashian made headlines earlier this month after meeting with President Donald Trump following months of campaigning for the release of Alice Johnson, a 63-year-old woman who was sentenced to life behind bars for her minor role in a drug trafficking syndicate. Johnson, who had been behind bars for 20 years, had her sentence commuted earlier this month, and Kardashian was widely credited for her release. DailyMail.com have contacted Kim Kardashian for comment but did not receive a response before publication.